memories are filtered. We only remember what we want to remember. In school, they used to say, I'm the jack of all trades and master of none. You're truly successful when you don't mind another person being successful at the same time. बहुत ही कम पढ़ाया जाता है, to be honest with you, Gaurav. मतलब 2 sheets of ये copy होती है and 2 sheets of ये art होता है. Everything else other than advertising that I do in life is what advertising is all about. Clients are often misunderstood, often portrayed as a villain, but are the people who make us. The bread and butter side of our job and the award side, they're both great. I'm not against any.
I am your host Gaurav Garg and we welcome all our viewers to our show Amazing Mentor. Today with us is Momita Pal. She is currently Creative Director at FCP India and co-founder of Biryani by Momita. She is a lockdown mom, a biryani enthusiast, a singer of songs, a lover of dogs, a cinephile and an advertising professional. It's a pleasure to welcome Momita to our show Amazing Mentor. Welcome Momita.
Thank you so much for having me.
How was your childhood and do childhood memories make you happy or sad?
It's a complicated answer. An author once who I met recently said that, our childhood memories are filtered. We only remember what we want to remember. But that being said, I kind of come from a broken home. So there are a lot of not so pleasant memories, but of course it's filled with great memories. And just letting go of the support tires from your cycles and being able to ride a cycle independently for the first time is a great memory for everybody. So I think there are these memories from your childhood that are definitely joyous. Now when I look back, I feel like those are the things that kind of made me who I am. And people always say that you are slightly more mature according to your age. And I think that whatever happened in my childhood gave me a lot of patience, helped me understand how to balance things, how to not lose it at small things. I actually understand what are small problems and what are actual big problems. So I think that anything in comparison felt like small.
What are incidents if you like to share?
Okay, there are many, but the one that definitely comes to mind and has got a lot to do with what I do. The task was to write an imaginary letter to a friend describing something. So I had done that, and quite unexpectedly, a special class was arranged just to, the teacher just came to that class to read that letter out to everybody, just to tell everybody how this is how you write, when it comes to writing. And I think that was the first ever instance where someone told me I could write. And I was through the moon. I was like, I didn't know. And that's when, I started writing poetry, just for myself, not for everybody. But I started writing, I started keeping a diary, etc. So I think it's a very joyous, but very important and pivotal moment from my childhood, I feel. Because this is what I do today, I write. So it's great. Because I was 110% convinced I was going to be a software engineer. So
it's like it was in your passive mind which have came as a professional in your active mind now?
Yeah, it's all active now. I think what engineering, science, all of that is passive now. This is active.
So tell us about your educational background, schooling and higher education.
Like I said, I'm from an army family. So I have mostly been in all the Kendriya Vidyalayas around the country. I've been to many schools. A couple of them were in Delhi. One was in Kashmir. I've also lived in Kashmir in the 90s. Great time to live. Not so great time actually to live in Kashmir. So I used to go to KB there, and I remember really lovely memory of actually walking, and you would have this extra jacket because it'd be full of snow. So you kind of shake that off, take the jacket off, and there was a fireplace inside the classroom. I don't think many people experience that in schools in India. So that, and then like I said, major part of my schooling was in this central school in Barakpur, fabulous school where I kind of studied and completely convinced that I wanted to do engineering. And I sat for my AIEEEs, my JEEs basically, and then finally said no to that. I said I don't want to do it. We came to Delhi. My father had to move to Delhi. When I came here, every admission in every college, everything was over. So when I came here, so I had either the option of just getting whatever going for whatever I have available as an option, or waiting for a year. So I did mass comm. So that's pretty much my education. I also did masters after that.
What about your hobbies and interests?
Hobbies. So number one hobby is singing. That's my most favorite thing, to be honest. I love watching movies. As you've seen, cinephile. It's a hobby. For me, that's like a necessity. I need to watch something. Well, I don't necessarily like the idea of binge watching shows so much. And now as a new mom, I don't even get the time. But movies, yes, absolutely. Every kind of movie. In fact, one weird fetish that my husband and I have is watching horror movies together. So I love watching horror movies. I can't sleep with lights off. I watch itne zyada horror movies I watched. I can't sleep with.
So, what was your dream profession as a child, and was it constant or keep on changing?
It did keep on changing. But I think all kids, when they are 5 or 6, they all want to be doctors. And we used to get those little doctor sets also. Up to we khilta hi nahi unse. You know, those little plastic ke andar jo aate the chota sa stethoscope pura sa. So I thought I'll become a doctor. But later in life, I think the entertainment world, I was really inspired by it. And though in a small town, you don't even have the exposure. So no one was really able to explain to me what I could do in the entertainment industry. But I loved that. For a brief period, like I said, I also believed that I will make for a good software engineer maybe. But yes, like always, something to do with acting, music, films, etc. was always what I wanted to do. And luckily, advertising kind of fulfills all of those things in bits and pieces, as you know.
So, how was you as a child, introvert or extrovert?
I think extrovert. I was an extrovert. I think I was good at public speaking. When I was growing up in school, college, I've always taken part, like I said, theatre, and I would do a lot of singing. I would take part in debate competitions, all of those things. However, I did have a very, very difficult time when it came to really sharing what I'm feeling. So it's a very strange mix of being an extrovert and a really tight introvert. Like even people who knew me kind of didn't know me, because I would just be like person who's very comfortable with talking to anybody, talking on stage, everything. But I wasn't very comfortable when it came to like speaking about things that were bothering me. So you could say it's a weird combination, but yeah.
So any college or school incident, notorious incident which you would like to share?
I mean, notorious, I would say that, I met my husband in college. I was very young. I was 17 years old when I met him. We kind of knew that we liked each other. But, when you're in college, you also have these friends who are either jealous of you or you feel like, I also came from like a small town to a big city. So I didn't know kisko batana chahiye, kisko nahi batana chahiye. So for the long time, we actually kept things a secret. So people would ask us and we go, no, we're just friends. And then they'll spot us at a cafe and we're like, no, we're just friends. And so much that, we had to like create other people who we said we were dating just to let people know that no, we are not, we are not dating. So I think that's a super notorious thing. And there are other notorious things that I can't share on camera.
Where did you start your career journey from?
I started from very small, like, those production houses in Delhi that make corporate films, etc. So I started with one of those places. Then I worked with another production house called Creative Productions for about a year. And while working, I actually accidentally for a project came to Lintas, where I met a college senior who said that you are meant for advertising, so just come. And next day onwards, I was in Lintas or Low Lintas. That's where I started. I am a low kid. To this date, I am a low kid, and that's where I started surprisingly as an account management person. I didn't start as a writer. And then one day our ECD said that, you know what, you can write, so why are you not in the creative department? And then from there, I moved to creative department. There's no looking back.
So what's that one thing you love about your profession the most?
The fact that you're not glued to an Excel sheet all day. That's definitely, I think everybody says that. It's not I wasn't cut out for a desk job. And now that the benefits of it, I'm reaping now, even as a mom. The fact that I don't need to stick to a system all day. So that would be one thing. And the other thing is that I absolutely love is that I don't do one thing. So I get to do lots of things. Like even in school, they used to say I'm the jack of all trades and master of none. But I think now I'm jack of all trades, yet I'm master of one, which is writing. So while I'm doing multiple things, I do have a hold over one thing which I'm perfect at.
So who is your mentor in life?
I think for everything, there is one person or two people who I look up to, right? Professionally, I would say Sriram Iyer, who was the ECD the guy who actually moved me from servicing to creative, because he actually saw potential in me. And with him, this other person who's who's by the way the CCO of Enormous now, Orko Provo Bose. So Sriram and Orko together saw the potential and convinced me that I was made for this, and they never stopped guiding me. So they are definitely, and currently at the moment, I think Swati Bhattacharya, Shurjo Dutt, Abhijit Ray, the team that I work with, they are my absolute go-to people for everything. From one, I learned patience and how to not lose it as a person, who teaches me how to be secure in your place. And that's, my immediate boss, Abhijit. And then there is Shurjo, who's teaching me what leadership really means. And I have never met a leader better than him. Never, ever. I don't know how he does it. I'm trying to learn. But he's absolutely... And Swati is this enigma. Like, she's what I think I would want to be eventually in life if I'm in advertising. She's just this person. Whatever she touches turns to gold, So she's that. And as a woman also, there aren't enough women leaders to look up to, in advertising. You've been there, so you know how it is. And there are some, I think you can name the women leaders, creative director and above. You can name and you can count them on fingers. When it comes to like mainline advertising, you don't really have enough women leaders. So Swati kind of breaks the barrier there as well and teaches you that there's place for you at at the top. So these will be the people who motivate me professionally, out and out.
So what was the most challenging phase of your professional life?
The most challenging times are when someone taking things away from you. So it's almost like someone not letting you grow. So, I'm not even talking about it as a woman, because for a woman it becomes difficult, right? Like unfortunately, I've seen a time when people will not include me in a car brief because I'm a woman. It makes no sense. And I've worked on multiple automobile brands now. I work on BMW currently, by the way. And I worked on Maruti, Honda and all of these. And I remember being chucked out of a meeting and asked me, they literally asked me not to participate because it was a car brand. And I said, excuse me, what makes you I drive a car. So what makes you think that? And even if I don't drive a car, why won't you not include me in a brief just because you think it's a... So like that's one thing that I have faced, but it wasn't nearly as challenging as the phase where a certain leader was not letting me grow, was not letting me present my ideas, was not letting me present my films or, everything, because he thought that somewhere in his head, he thought that I will outdo him. I think he was insecure enough to not see how secure I am. I wasn't gonna surpass him and say that, hey, idiot, you don't know anything. You don't deserve to be my boss. Let me go. And I was never going to do that. Anything that I do, any work that we do, and Gaurav, you know this, any work that a team does is automatically the leader's work. So it's not even like the leader gets the credit anyway. So I don't know what that was, but it really did dip my motivations down, even for a person like me. It did affect me for about 2 years, and that's a long time. That's not a small time.
So what's your definition of success?
The absence of insecurity, the absence of selfishness. I truly mean that, because after a point when you're successful, like if you've not attained a state where you don't mind other people growing with you, you've not achieved success. You're truly successful when you don't mind another person being successful at the same time. I think for me, that is success, that is leadership. And being really calm in that situation. Like it really doesn't affect you that other people are becoming successful. I think that's successful.
So if you are able to get hold of time machine, which phase of your life would you like to roll back?
Definitely my childhood, like very formative years of my childhood, like from 10 to 16, like this 5-6 very, very formative years. And I would like to go back and tell the person that it'll be okay and you'll be in a good place and things actually get better. I think I would go back and do a few things differently and not like put so much responsibility on my head even as a kid. Just chill a little in school, like if I could just do that, I'll do that. And in a heartbeat, I'll go back and change that time.
So what made you join advertising? Was it by choice or by chance?
Chance, absolutely chance. No idea what. I had a textbookish idea. I studied mass comm, so I knew what advertising was, but बहुत ही कम पढ़ाया जाता है, to be honest with you, Gaurav. 2 sheets of ये कॉपी होती है, 2 sheets of ये आर्ट होता है, 2 sheets of ऐसे प्लानिंग तो होती भी नहीं है, किताब में रिसर्च होती है. Still they'll say that this is all I know about advertising. Like I said, I was working for a production house when I had come to Lowe for something else, for another project. And that's when I met one of my seniors, Kritika. And she said, you know what, I'm leaving tomorrow. My place is, I'm leaving, meaning I've just put my resignation and I'll be gone in a few days. I think you'll be a perfect fit because we're looking for someone to replace me. And I'm like, okay, does this job pay? And she's like, no, not at all. It doesn't pay. I said, okay, does it have 9 to 5 timings? She's like, no, there is no like time limit. You could be going home at 3 in the morning, coming back at 9. I said, okay, will they give me a cab? She's like, no, only when it's late, maybe you'll get a drop. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll join. So I had a very, very stable job, which I quit for. I don't know what got into me. And I said, okay, I'll join advertising.
So you are a lockdown mom, a biryani enthusiastic, a singer of song, a lover of dogs, a cinephile, and an advertising professional. Which role you like the most?
Being a mom, hands down. And I would say that it's the most cliched answer. I'm sure you hear it from everybody. I understand now why people say that. There is absolutely nothing else in this world that makes me feel the way my son makes me feel. And a close second is, of course, singing. I think it really brings me peace, joy, because just being able to, listen to music or just being able to get lost in music for a while is a gift, I think. It also saved me as a kid, Even as a kid, when there was too much chaos, I think music and just this interest in music and singing kind of saved me. So yeah, being a mom, 100%.
So what are your roles and responsibility as creative director FCP Ulka?
So I have a team of writers, as everybody does. I have many brands to look after. We work for Google, Uber, Vistara, lots of brands, and we make everything for them. So starting from, and now even with the social media wave, you have to do more than what you signed up for. So I do everything from radios to television commercials to digital films to writing standees, tabletops, everything. I do everything. And I enjoy doing all of it. So but at a creative director level, the role is more of leadership, more of building a relationship with the client. Even though you are from the creative department, the client, you need to have a rapport with the client. The client understands you, you understand the client. And those are the things that I enjoy doing. And those are the things that are my key responsibilities.
So as you have mentioned your love for singing, you never thought of trying your luck in singing as professional singer?
Of course, I thought about it. It never worked out. I thought about it. If I say that I don't pursue it professionally at all, it'll be a lie. Because I do sing for, very few though, but I do sing for commercials. In school, I did everything, as much singing as you can imagine. So I've done all of that. But in a smaller town, what happens is that you don't really, you may think in your head, you're thinking I'll be a singer someday. You just don't know how to make it happen. I try to post some stuff on Instagram. I try to post stuff on YouTube here and there. And like I said, I did a couple of commercials as well. So it's not the profession, but it's my side hustle. So it's happening. Chalta rehta hai sab.
So what was the most challenging brief you have worked till date?
Challenging briefs तो काफी होते हैं. Challenging briefs तो मतलब बहुत सारे होते हैं. I think not one in particular, but I'll tell you, every time there is a brief which we in advertising refer to as the blue sky brief. Like kuch kar do. We are let's say, for argument's sake, we are a bottle brand and, we make bottles. Just do something on it. But we want to be really appealing to the janta and we really want a 30,000 feet above message ki ekdam duniya badal dene wala message bhi chahiye, but bottles bhi dikhni chahiye. I think those are the briefs that I absolutely find difficult to crack. Some people see it as opportunity because you can do anything when you have a brief like that. But I actually really struggle when there is a blue sky brief. I need some direction. So every time a brief like that comes to me, I get a little helter-skelter. Where do I go? So that would be challenging for me. Not one in particular. I can't really point one thing at this.
So what different feeling and emotion did you experience when you saw your ad on air?
The first one is always special. Because before that, my biggest thing is like, my parents and my family, they didn't understand what I do. बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता था समझना. What do you do? Like, you don't make the ad. So I don't shoot it. And they're like, acha, that is done by someone. Then what do you do? So I write it. Okay, so you get the celebrities. I said, no, I don't. Okay, so they would never understand. The first commercial, when it came on air, I could tell them, this is what I do. Okay, like, this is mine. I've written this ad. That was the feeling that, okay, finally they understand what I do. And of course, it's great to see a hoarding. Like for me, like seeing a hoarding on the street, that is equally exciting. So yeah, the first ad, mostly because people then understood, okay, I'm doing what I'm doing. Because I don't have any friends like from school or college. In college, yes, but I don't have school friends who are anything other than engineers and doctors, So even to them, like, hey, look, this is what I do. And they're like, oh, okay, now we get it.
So what's your definition of advertising?
Advertising is everything I do in life, all of that experience. When I use it, I think I create advertising. Like everything else other than advertising that I do in life is what advertising is all about. Because you don't know how to fall in love with a person, you'll never be able to sell Cadbury's. It's as simple as that. So everything that you do outside of advertising is what advertising is all about, and far more important than people think it in today's world, especially.
So how would you define client in one line?
Misunderstood for most part, made villains for most part. But for me, they make or break us. Clients are often misunderstood, often portrayed as a villain, but are the people who make us.
So what does deadline means to you and how serious are you about them?
I'm very serious about deadlines, honestly. Very, very serious about deadlines. They should be reasonable. If they are reasonable, and by reasonable, I mean sometimes a day's deadline is also reasonable because maybe कोई इवेंट हुआ है, लाइक नीरज चोपड़ा आज ही गोल्ड जीता है तो आपको आज ही करना पड़ेगा ऐड ना. मतलब तब अगर कोई बोलता है तुमने 2 हफ्ते का टाइम नहीं दिया, it's not worth it. When it's reasonable, I don't mind deadlines at all. I respect them and absolutely respect them. If I promised you tomorrow, it has to be tomorrow. It can't be no, I can't. So no, I'm actually very strict about deadlines. I don't miss them.
So tell us about your first creative which have gone on air.
So I have worked on a lot of ads as a servicing person. If I had to include that, then the first one would be, there was a Nestle Polo commercial with Wendell Rodrigues, who's the late Wendell Rodrigues, who's no more. There was a designer sort of packaging that we done. It was a very interesting commercial. That was my first one as a servicing person that I'd worked on. As a creative person, I think it was for Toshiba TVs. I did one commercial called Enjoy Every Bit. It was called the Cricket TV. I was in Dentsu when I did that. It was a commercial for Toshiba Cricket TVs.
So do awards motivates you? And what all awards have you achieved in your professional life?
I come from the low school of advertising. When I joined, they didn't believe in awards. So I kind of grew up in advertising knowing that regular work that we refer to as regular work is stuff that you do every day. And that work should be so good that you don't need awards. It's not just a comparison between regular work and what you do for awards. Sometimes it's a reward for all the hard work you put in. And sometimes the work that we do, I feel deserve an acknowledgement and appreciation that comes in the form of an award, right? And now if you see most of the work that gets awards is usually released stuff. It's not that Patli Gali thing doesn't exist anymore. You need it to happen, and there are these checks, etc. Last year, there is a Vistara safety video. Who would have thought that a safety video win an award? Because it was done differently. It was done. Our team, we worked on an idea that when you're flying international, these are long flights. So why don't we do safety videos that are actually yoga poses? So you relax and everything. And that got a curious, which was great. It got a curious blue elephant. My friend and I, we did this passion project where we made a public service, like a PSA. We did some PSA work for the Singhu border farmers who were protesting back in December. And we did a film which actually got 3 baby elephants and one big blue elephant at Curious. And that's amazing. Apart from this, I've got an Abbey for a radio jingle once. I've got an award for a short film that I did for road safety and transport ministry. So it was a film about that, about its awareness. Then there is also the 48-hour film project that happens in every country. So when it happened here in India, in Delhi, we won that. So yeah, to name a few, feels really great if, there are Effies that award the efficiency of your campaign, right? So it requires real numbers. So you made an ad, did it really do make a difference to the brand? And that's how you get Effies. And for Curious, like I said, your work gets recognized, and why not? There's nothing wrong with it. The bread and butter side of our job and the award side, they're both great. I'm not against any.
So tell us about your startup Biryani by Momita.
I think most things in my life has happened. They've happened by accident. Like advertising, the biryani thing. So I am if you see my social media handle, which is on Facebook, my middle name is Biryani. Like I love biryani so much. So everybody was quite scared that when my son will be born, I might name him Biryani because I love biryani so much. Since I was a kid, I think biryani was, if you wake me up in the middle of the night, ask me to eat biryani, I'll eat. If you ask me to eat biryani thrice a day, I'll eat. Like I love biryani so much. And because I've been doing that, and even when I would go to, like, my husband and I went to Europe, and वहाँ पे भी मैंने बिरयानी जाके I want to taste biryani everywhere and anywhere the biryani exists. I want to taste that, and so that much love. So when and I realized that why don't we, because I love it so much, and I happen to, like, my mother had to master making a biryani because of me, making a good plate of biryani, and we used our mother's recipe, and we thought, just one day, both of us were working. We had our own jobs back then, and we thought that banake, why don't we try and sell it over a weekend? Let's see. So we, very rushed decision, we got some pamphlets printed, put them in the newspaper in the morning, and we said that the first 20 orders will get it for like a dirt cheap price, like $100 or something, okay? And we got a little bit of mutton, and we got बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं लाए, छोटी सी inventory we created. And you have to go and give the pamphlets early in the morning, right, to the newspaper wallas. So it happened in the morning at around 5:30. My husband went for it, and we had written that the first 20 orders, right, are going to get this discount. But I was sleeping. They're like, who's going to order? Subah 5 baje. In an hour's time, we were booked for the afternoon, and everything that we had gotten was over, and we had to get more stuff to do in the evening. So much happened in one day that we couldn't do it the next day. Itna zyada ho gaya ek din ke liye. And then we started doing it over the weekends, and then when it picked up, my husband actually quit his job, and he took it up full time, and we started our cloud kitchen, which first ran in Dwarka for about 3 years, and then we opened a branch in Gurgaon, which didn't work out, but as a cloud kitchen, it ran. And I'm a co-founder, but he handles everything. But yeah, that's a great experience as well. Food, that's the other thing, which I think I absolutely love. And biryani mostly, like not just any food, but biryani mostly. That's how it started.
So what all challenges did you face while starting your Momita?
Oh, many. Oh my God, many. Because in the beginning, I would cook, my husband would personally go deliver. If there are 5 orders, sometimes even I would go and deliver. I've done that myself. And later you face countless number of issues, starting from the right equipment to the right place, offline orders. You face difficulties with employees, finding the right kind of cooks, their attitude to make sure that they don't do anything wrong inside the kitchen, like, they don't steal things or they don't get drunk. These are all very so that they're safe. You do police verification, and it's a lot of headache. Like, it's not easy. It's a lot of headache. You also go through, we had 2 very stable jobs, and then and one person quits, and so the whole burden comes onto the other person to take care of, because my thing was that I will take care of the bills, etc. But my the clear understanding between my husband and I was that whatever comes from the business goes back into business. That the financial challenge is the biggest challenge, and sometimes you don't overcome those challenges, and sometimes you do. So it's a balance, but that's why they say business is not easy. It's full of risks, and it's full of so many things.
So where all is your delivery, and how can anybody order biryani from you?
So currently, I'll tell you, because of after the second wave, we are basically redesigning our business at the moment. So right now there are no orders. We're not taking orders on Zomato, etc. We're not. We are repurposing we're going to relaunch in some time, but right now it is going through a redevelopment. So nowhere right now, but otherwise you can order from Zomato, Swiggy, everywhere, and you can. We are in Dwarka, so we cater to Dwarka and other West Delhi areas like Janakpuri, Uttam Nagar, etc. We cover, but not currently, not at this moment, not right now.
So tell us about your initiatives, Canada Calling.
Again, like I said, everything, especially this one, by accident. So I think I am from Bengal. I'm a Bengali, but my husband's from Punjab. Or like they say, ek pair to Canada, US mein hota hai Punjabiyon ka. So what we decided was, when our kid was born, and we decided that we're still in the age limit. So why don't we apply for the Canada immigration program? And if we get a permanent residence, you have time to decide whether you want to move or not. Karke rakhne mein kya jata hai? Let's just get it done and just keep it in case we want to. Because baad mein we will get older and we'll not get the points, etc. So I said, fine, I'll, so you have to do two things, right, in the beginning when you're applying for it. So you have to first sit for your IELTS exam, which is your English exam, where you have to score a certain point. And the other thing is you have to get so it's called ECA. What it means is that you have to get your degree evaluated from an agency in Canada. So the masters that you have in India, is it considered as a masters in Canada as well or not? So you have to get that approved from the government of Canada. So it's a very, very tedious process, and people usually don't get it. And people told me that it's very difficult and बहुत मुश्किल होगा, आप agent को pay कर दो. So I thought, ठीक है, कितना मुश्किल है, check करते हैं. And Gaurav, you won't believe me, it's the easiest thing in the world. Because it's these fraud immigration agents, they create this wrong impression about all these things. It's the easiest thing to do. And I got it done. And I thought, and there's a simple way to do it, right? What people don't know is how to do it. So what I thought, and a lot of people were asking me. So on Facebook, I had a friend circle and forum, etc., where I said that I've done it. So people started asking me, how did you do it? How did you do it? Everybody's telling us it's so tough. How did you do it? So I thought कि हर बार तो सबको process समझाना easy नहीं है. So I made a video, and I decided that every time someone asks me how to do it, I'll just send them this video. So I thought अब video भी मतलब WhatsApp के through या किसी चीज के through, it's a heavy file, right? So I uploaded it on YouTube. Under my YouTube account is just a Gmail account, right? You just go log into your Gmail account and it's your YouTube account. So I uploaded it and I started sending it to people, 10 people, 15 people who asked me. But in like 5 days, I had about 2,000 views. And I'm like, what's happening? Like, what's going on? And then you won't believe, like, bodies who are involved with these ECAs, they started getting in touch with me. They're like, we didn't even ask you, telling people about us, and it's great. And would you like to collaborate, etc. So then they started using the video to inform people. So now anybody who will come to them, they'll give the video to those people. That's how that channel started growing. And I started making more videos. And I don't even think about that channel. And if you see the content, like mostly doesn't even have my face. It's just my screen shared and step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. I think what has really worked for it is that it's really organic, very simple. And I explain every step and I tell them how to. People send me gifts because I have saved them from spending lakhs and lakhs of rupees on agents. So that I did not see coming, Gaurav, I'll be honest. Did not, I swear. Like I thought I'm just doing it so I don't have to explain the process to everybody, and it just became whatever it has not become anything, to be honest. It's not become like a big thing, but I like when people email me and say that thank you for saving. I was going to spend 2 lakh rupees or 3 lakh rupees, and now I didn't. I spent only 10,000 rupees for the process, and your video really explained. So I love all that. If you see, there are 800, 900 comments on my videos of just people saying that. So So that I actually really love that because it was so out of the blue, so unexpected. No one knows about it. My friends, my colleagues, no one knows about it. Nobody knows what is this. And it's so hard to explain also. Like I'm having a hard time to explain to you also that what is it that I do on that channel. It's just a lot of information given the right way to save people from fraud immigration agents.
Very nice initiative. So what all are do's and don'ts you would suggest while starting your career journey?
So don'ts would definitely be not run after money in the beginning. I would say. Like, this Gen Z is very, very particular about मैं 4 घंटे दे रहा हूँ और 4 घंटे के मुझे पैसे मिल जाने चाहिए. ये ऐसा है मेंटालिटी. या फिर मैं 4 घंटे के पैसे लूंगा पर मैं 3 घंटे काम करूंगा. थोड़ा ये वाला जनरेशन ऐसा है. This generation is also great at some of the things. They are so entitled. I love all of that. Like for me, I think most of my life I have spent thanking people. Oh, thank God, मेरे साथ ऐसा हो गया. अरे वाह, ये चमत्कार हो गया. This generation is like, no, I deserve it. I am this way. I deserve, and I love that. I absolutely love that. I wish I was like that. But I think that a little bit of trusting time and trusting the reason why you need to spend time on something to achieve something, I think you need to do that. Don't look at too much money in the beginning. Figure yourself out. Figure yourself out. See what you're good at, what brings you joy. What you really like doing. Everything will happen. The other thing I would tell them is this impatient nature of, I did this today, why am I not getting a result tomorrow? And I blame some of the things like, I think we talk about it enough a number of times when we say that there was a pleasure in picking up the phone and not knowing who's on the other side and figuring out who's on the other side, right? Kaun phone kar raha, main pata nahi tha. There was a time. You would write a letter and wait for the response for days. Now it's like, it's been 10 seconds and this person has not replied to my WhatsApp message. This instant gratification, we don't realize, this generation doesn't know how to wait. Doesn't know that it takes time to get things. It takes time to achieve things. Like there was one video I saw, and what a lovely thing they said, that when you keep the phone in front of you, right, and you're sitting with your colleague or you're sitting with a friend and you're both sitting next to each other and your phone is kept on the table like this, right? So there's a constant tung of notification. Even if there is no sound, you can see that the notifications are coming. So when you're talking to somebody, this is what you're constantly doing. This is what you're doing, right? You're constantly there. When you do this is when you start talking, so how's your mother? I heard she was in the hospital. What are you doing? What is happening in life? Are you okay? So these things, I saw this in a video. It's so correct. Like, I saw this in a video somewhere and I loved it. I'm like, yeah. So since then, I've made it a practice to not ever, like even when I'm talking to you right now, I kept the phone on this side. So I don't even once look at my phone and see what is, happening. So I think that this generation needs to practice. It's just unnecessary obsession with the phone, and instant gratification is what's going to be harmful for them mentally, physically, and emotionally. It's going to drain them. And do's absolutely, like working hard. There is no substitute for working hard. Hard work का कोई substitute नहीं है. ये मतलब आप try करके देख सकते हैं, but eventually you will realize that there is no substitute for hard work. Smart work also involves hard work. So it's not like smart work doesn't involve hard work. Maybe a better planning of your work. So please work hard. You will be surprised by how the universe rewards you for your things. For when you genuinely stop yourself from saying something bad to somebody, or when you genuinely stop yourself from harming somebody, and when you genuinely put your heart and soul into it, the universe rewards you in a manner you didn't even imagine. So gratitude, hard work, everything reciprocates. Everything comes back as a reward. So please pursue, without making it sound very motivational. And I think that, in my life, I've experienced it. I have experienced things that I couldn't call coincidence anymore. Like I can't imagine that this happened to me, and it can't be coincidence. I must have done something right, which is why I have, received this in return. So back.
So what are the steps you would suggest while starting your entrepreneur journey?
Patience. You need lots and lots of patience. If you have financial backing, at least have 6 to 8 months of capital backing. You need capital backing. You need to take calculated risks. You cannot take risks for the heck of it. Like in our case, one person was earning, one person was spending, giving their 100% to the business. You have to be, I think first, like I said, capital. Be careful about the expenses for a longer time and not just like first couple of months. Secondly, patience, lots of patience. It doesn't happen overnight. Take calculated risks. Don't give it everything so that eventually you have nothing, you're left with nothing. Don't be like that. And fourth, be okay with, like one of the biggest problems that you face is like today, if I quit advertising and I am with my people, like people at the same level as me, right? Now, if I go on an entrepreneurial journey, 2 years later, I will see that they've become something much bigger in advertising. And if I want to come back, I may have to start from where I am. You have to be okay with that. You can't keep comparing yourself to others and one thing that I keep saying is that never ever compare yourself or your stage of success with another person's stage of success. Everyone's life is different. सबके लिए सब चीज अलग-अलग टाइम पे लिखी हुई है, सबके लिए एक टाइम पे नहीं होती है. Somebody gets married at 25, someone gets married at 35. Doesn't mean that they are not happy in their marriage or they've lost something, right? So similarly, you might get success at 20, you might get success at 40, but it'll be worth enjoying it. And you can't compare that, that person who was just my age and my city, he is, so many years or days ahead of me. I don't think it works like that. That you have to stop doing, you will make it as an entrepreneur. Keep trying. Yeah.
So now we will start a rapid round.
Rapid.
Your favorite actor and actress?
So in Bollywood, Shah Rukh Khan, actress Shabana Azmi. In Hollywood, I would say Al Pacino, and actress Hilary Swank.
Your favorite color?
Black.
Your favorite destination?
Greece.
Your favorite car?
My back.
Your favorite pastime?
Doing nothing, sleeping.
Things in your wish list?
Getting a PhD in something, hearing my child talk, because he's not talking yet. So I think that's in my wish list. I want to hear him talk, because that will be exciting. Traveling to as many countries as possible, learning to play the piano, and I think maybe getting a can someday.
Your favorite brand?
Not really a brand person, but I think YouTube.
Dream house?
My dream house. Mannat, because Shah Rukh Khan.
Second choice of career?
In choice of career, singing, 100% singing.
At last, one line that defines you?
One line that defines me. A part-time lover and a full-time friend.
So thank you very much for your time, and it was a pleasure talking to you and listening to the experiences and challenges you have shared on our show. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Gaurav. Thank you for having me, and looking forward to seeing an editor of this soon.
Thank you very much. Thanks for watching Amazing Mentor, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button to get regular updates. Thank you very much.